And she's a Pisces sun, moon in Leo. We don't have the birth time, so we don't have the rising. And this is an easy one. And I'll show you why. And it's also a great, I might be a little bit biased, but I think this is a great astrology chart. And that Ryan Gosling guy is a very lucky man if this is his wife. I don't know if it's his wife, his girlfriend. So let's get into it here. She's obviously, she's an actress, and we see right away, we see the Pisces sun ruled by Neptune. You know, I feel like I'm on repeat. If you've been watching these, I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again. The moon in Leo, the planet, the sign that rules, that governs performances and being on stage, being center stage. Then what she's got, of course, she has Neptune here with the North Node in Sagittarius, and it's moving towards the North Node. So she has that going for her as life is moving forward. She's got Neptune continuing to come closer and closer to that North Node where she's headed. She's got Saturn on the South Node in Gemini. So that kind of, having a Saturn in Gemini, it's in the Aquarius decan. So I think it's good to be coming from that place. In some way, it's good to be coming from that place uh, of stability, responsibility, all the good things that Saturn can give you. And it's also making a trine to that nice conjunction between Jupiter, Mercury in Aquarius, and Mercury is exalted in Aquarius, and Jupiter is also the esoteric ruler of Aquarius, and Jupiter is at 29 degrees, so it's really making that Jupiter very significant. As I said, it's also involving Saturn making a trine. So we have this close relationship between Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. She's probably a joy to work with. With that Jupiter Mercury, it really gives her, she probably has a really good brain, really good mind. It's also making a trine to Uranus, the planet that rules the brain. So very good integration there between the right and left brain. Very progressive person. Grand trine in air. I mean, Mars and Gemini. These Mars and Gemini people, I could say a lot of negative things about Mars and Gemini, but they are great to have a chat with. And, if you don't, as I said, she has all that Saturn on the South Node would help this for sure, and all that Aquarius. But because, Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn, not just Uranus. But all the negative things I could say about Mars and Gemini, that's Saturn, I think, really changes it here. Where, with the Mars and Gemini, you get a person who, they're talking to you. As I said, you can have a good talk. You really enjoy talking to them, and then next thing you know, you don't know who they are because they were just, they were really making all that up, or they were showing you a side of themselves that really wasn't them. They're just kind of like a chameleon, like what Libra would do. But with that Saturn, everything I said about that Saturn, I think she might be a little bit different. Also, really helps out that Pisces sun and the Leo moon that can really become very into the self. And the Pisces sun can be pretty far out there as well. So we also see the sun squaring the nodes. And I like the square to the nodes with the sun, and even Jupiter you could say Jupiter. Well, no, Jupiter's making a sextile to the node there, but with the sun, it's not quite squaring the nodes, but it's close enough. I do like the square to the nodes because the south node's in Gemini and the north node's in Sagittarius. So I think she would be. I like the idea of going back and forth between the Gemini and the Sagittarius node. Because that can give you really good experience between expansion and contraction. And that's where I see maybe with the trine between Jupiter and Saturn, where she has the ability to be a visionary and maybe see into the future and look at her dreams, but then also be realistic about them. Gemini, and really be able to focus on the day-to-day tasks in order to get to where she wants to go, to accomplish her goals or accomplish her dreams. So a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that focus. They don't have that awareness. Let's look at Pluto. This is the last thing I'm going to look at here. Pluto is because Pluto is making aspects to I say contacts, but contacts are aspects to Venus, also the Moon, and also Mars. You could say the Jupiter, Mercury as well, but let's just stick with these planets because you might think of having Pluto aspects as being bad, but they're all trines and sextiles. It's making a grand trine to Venus and Mars. It's making a sextile to the Moon. And you could say there's a square to Saturn, but Saturn is moving towards a square, so maybe not quite getting there toward the end of life. And Pluto is also making a inconjunct to that Jupiter, but again, not quite getting there if we're looking at it as a pattern of movement. Jupiter's not quite, as Jupiter moves into that inconjunct, it's not quite getting there yet. It might not get there till the end of life, which could mean maybe there's an adjustment that has to be made. Maybe that's just because it's Pluto and Jupiter, maybe that's just her donating a lot of money to charity at the end of her life. And having to work through that as a problem, if you want to call it that. Where do I give my money to? Why should I give my money away? Etc. And the last thing, I think I said that the last thing. I do want to look at one more thing. She's got this great Mars-Venus trine disseminating in a disseminating phase. So whoever is in relationship to her, that's a great aspect for marriage. Because I bet you she is going to, I'm just saying, if you think that marriage should be, if you want to be in a marriage relationship that's going to last a long time. If you don't, then it doesn't matter. But if you do, that's what you're looking for. This aspect, disseminating specifically, is amazing because she's probably not going to want. It's probably going to be hard for her to break up a marriage, just based on a little bit of problems. She's gonna want to make it work. So I'll leave you with that. Hope you enjoyed this mini reading for Eva Mendes. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more great astrology here on Joe's Astrology.